Hello, and welcome to Filling Your Content Calendar for 2023. I am Katie Dunn, aka the CRM Fairy. I usually help people with their KV core system. If you're in real estate, you probably know what that is. If you're following me, you probably know what that is because that's probably how you found me. But I also like to do a little bit of social media planning for people because that's a huge thing in the real estate industry. There's a fly. um, so today we're talking about filling your content calendar, which I guess is a little bit of a mix of KV Core, of social media, and actually in-person events, which I think are a big thing that you should start doing if you're not doing already. So my dog is asleep on the couch behind me, so hopefully he stays asleep. It's not going to be a super long presentation, but you know, Amazon packages. I live on a busy road. He hates cats, so he might freak out, but hopefully he's already snoring. So hopefully we're calm. All right. So the first thing that you want to do when you are thinking about your content calendar for the whole year is to break it down. Because obviously there's, quote, only 52 weeks in a year, but there's so much that you can be doing. So you want to figure out what you could be doing on a yearly basis, on a quarterly basis, on a monthly basis, a weekly basis, and then on a daily basis. So yearly, you want to think big events, right? So charity events are a big one. This time of year, around the holidays, is big for clothing drives, for toy drives, that sort of thing. And if you do work in an office, they might be doing one, but you can be promoting it. So that could be your big push for the month of December. Every year, you can be pushing the toy drive that's in the office. I don't know if you have contests, who can bring in the most, who all this stuff, but you can be making videos about it, social media posts, blogs, all of that stuff about your clothing or toy drives. And then, of course, yearly, you can also be doing fundraisers. If you sponsor anything in your local town, like the local little league team or anything like that, you could always be doing fundraisers, and that could be your big event in May or whenever things like that happen. So that's something you want to put on your calendar every year. And then, of course, when you plan it, it'll get easier every year because you'll sort of have your outline, and then you can go from there. Another thing is community events. Craft fairs happen all the time, especially during the holidays and in the summertime. Farmers markets are big in the summer as well, and spring. I know that being a real estate agent isn't really a farmer's market booth per se, but if you do want to sponsor anything like that, I'm sure you can talk to the organizer and do things like that. Or if you do want a booth, you can be giving away like free buyer consultations. Obviously, those are free anyway, but if somebody signs up for your email newsletter list, you can put them into your CRM, and they're there, and you know that they are perhaps in the market. They are a new lead that you will nurture after meeting in the community. And then, of course, you're just handing out your cards because some people don't know a real estate agent, which it would be wild in 2023 because everybody knows a real estate agent. But if you are the face of the one in their community, then that's always best, right? Okay, so holiday events, again, Christmas time or holiday time now is a big one, but it's also a very busy time for people. So maybe you want to sponsor something like an Easter egg hunt or a Halloween night where you get people together, you have a little costume party, something like that. You hand out candy. On each little thing of candy, it has your business card. So again, just another community event that you could be hosting yearly, and then people will know, oh, that real estate agent is the Easter egg hunt guy. I love that guy. I'm going to work with him. So that's great. Client appreciation events are big. I'm going to one actually tomorrow at the local zoo because the person who sold me my house, or who helped us buy our house, well, in 2019, every year they rent out the gazebo at the zoo and the holiday lights. They give hot cocoa, there's games, all of that stuff. So that's a nice client appreciation event. You stay in touch with people more than just with your email newsletter. They can come and see you in person. In 2019, I didn't have any kids. Now I do. So it's like my real estate agent hasn't seen me since 2019. So it'll be nice to see her and she can see like how my family grew. And then she can ask me, if she's smart, are you looking to expand or sell this house because you got kids, right? So client appreciation events are great to keep in touch with clients, to keep them happy, to give them something for them that's free to do in the community. And also, of course, to stay in touch, get referrals, see where they're at in their journey, because it might have changed since you sold them their house. And then another one, this one is more, it could be more quarterly, coffee with an agent. You don't have to do this once a year because it's so easy. You can go to a local business, i.e. a coffee shop that you like in town, and you can promote that you'll be there for a couple of hours, just sitting, drinking coffee. And obviously you can bring work to do because you got a lot to do. And then people can come in and just ask questions, simple questions, complex questions. You can be setting up appointments for them if they have something super in depth, or if they're like looking for an actual listing presentation or buyer consultation, something like that. But you can promote that you'll be at this local business. The local business can promote that you'll be there. And then you'll get people in your community coming in and out. There's obviously no pressure because you can sit there for 2 hours and nobody can come. You can sit there for 2 hours and you can have a line out the door. It just depends on the time of year, the community that you're working in, and I guess how much promotion you do. But coffee with an agent might be a nice thing to do quarterly. So stick it in your calendar. Alrighty. So monthly, I suggest that you do webinars. I'm actually going to be doing them weekly in the new year. I have my list right here. But as a real estate agent, weekly webinars might be a little crazy because that's a lot of work. And you're not necessarily getting the amount of people coming into your webinars weekly. That makes sense to do it. Anyway, I'm blabbing. Monthly, you should be doing webinars. You can be doing a buyer webinar in January, seller webinar in February, buyer in March, seller in April, etc. Right? So you're doing webinars that bring in hopefully buyers and sellers, give them tips that they may not know, show your expertise, and then obviously people might have questions after these webinars. So they stay on, they start asking you questions, and you make the appointment with them to meet and actually get down to business with them buying a house or selling a house. So here's an entire year's worth of topics for you, right? So with buyers, you could be talking about down payments and closing cost, because I know that you're in real estate, so you know about all these things, but a first-time home buyer is not going to know that they have to save an extra X thousands of dollars to pay for the closing costs, because on HGTV, the seller always pays for the closing costs, right? That's what they always say. But that doesn't happen in real life. So you want to let them know about down payments, closing costs, maybe like, great ways to budget their money to prepare for these costs. Another topic, you can talk about buyer risks that they shouldn't take. So this is a good topic to draw people in, because as a first-time home buyer, you're like, what risks are there? What do you mean? I just go and I put a down payment down and I get a house. So that's a little enticing title there for you. Renting versus buying in the specific farm that you do is a great one as well. Talking about pros and cons. And then you could also talk about, like, maybe, I know mortgage rates are always changing and things like that, but you could be talking about something like that so people can stay on top of all of that stuff. Hidden costs of home buying, another enticing title, because some people don't know that there are a bunch of costs that could come up and that do come up. Contingencies and waivers. You talk about pros and cons of those as well. And then a generic buying a home in, you could do your whole state, you could do your county, you could do your town, depending on how big your farm is and how big you want it to be. Seller-centric webinars. This one might not make sense anymore because 2023 we're a little bit like way past COVID concerns for some people, but selling after COVID could be a good one if that's still happening in your farm area. Reaching the best/most buyers. That is a great one to talk about your marketing plan for their home, which is the biggest thing that people need to know when they're hiring you as an agent. The current seller's market. This could be a weekly thing because the market's always changing. You could also do my 30-day marketing plan, my 90-day marketing plan, whatever you have going on that will help somebody's house get sold. That's a great one to explain what you do for your clients. And then maybe selling while buying and other seller stresses. So a lot of people need to buy before they can sell. Maybe you specialize in something like that. And then one tip after all of these webinars is to have a call to action. So the biggest one is to make an appointment with you. So if you're saying, those are the pros and cons of renting and buying in the area. If you are ready to buy, let's set up an appointment. This is my calendar link. We'll do something via Zoom first, and then we'll get the ball rolling. So always have a call to action at the end of your webinars, buyer-centric and seller-centric. And feel free to use any of these topics, all of these topics, whatever you want. So then weekly, what you should be doing is posting blogs or videos so people can get to know your expertise and how you talk and how you interact with people. Blogs are not totally dead. They do help with the SEO in your website so people can find you better. And video blogs are great because people love to see your face and get to know you that way. Market report videos, again, because the market's always changing, you can be just diving into the MLS and reading the same 5 stats every week. That makes total sense because it will keep people up on the market. What's being sold, what's the price point, how many things are being like discounted, that sort of thing. How many homes are actually on the market, like how big the local farm market is. All that jazz. You know how to do a market report. You could do a quick tip every week. So quick tip Tuesday on your Instagram or something like that. Just it could be really anything. Something to budget, something to see in the community, something to do, like if you're looking for a quick bite to eat, here's the place to go, blah, blah, blah. So that could be anything. You could do a live or pre-recorded, if that's more your style, Q&A. So if you're getting a lot of questions from your farm or your prospects, or you could just look up, if you don't have a lot of people in your farm yet, you're still building your base, just Google like most common real estate questions and then start answering them via video, via blog post, via both, whatever works. You could also be doing fun facts about your farm, so that makes you a local expert. When I had an active real estate license back in 2020, I was doing a fun fact market report combined. So I would take 3 counties in New Jersey. I would go Essex, Union, and Morris, I think, because that was what was around me. And I would do 3 just random cities or towns within those. And I would go population, how many people rent versus own, and then like 3 fun facts about it, which I would just find like on Wikipedia. Some towns had no fun facts, and that's, you really got to be creative and pull. But usually there's like some sort of star or sports star that went to school in that town or something like that. So that could be just a fun fact, like, oh, did you know this person went to high school in town, whatever. So it's fun to make fun fact videos, at least for me. That's part of my personality, but that could be something that you could do in your farm. You can do historic facts, things like that, anything that interests you that you also think would interest potential clients. So that gives them a little insight about your personality, and then obviously gives them facts about your farm. And then you could also be doing small business interviews. Again, if you don't want to do this weekly, you obviously don't have to. It could be a lot to do. But I think I came up with like 3 questions for a local business. So like, when did your business start? What's your #1 bestseller? And then why should people come to you? So if you don't even have to be on video for this. You could just be holding it up and recording the owner of the business if they're into it. So that could be just a quick 60-second video, unless they're chatty Cathy's, and then it could be a longer video, or you could cut it down, you could edit it. But anyway, you could do just these 3 questions, and then that's your small business interview for the week. Just be keeping people on your calendar and running through it. And again, that makes you the local expert. And then obviously it lets you go to different places. So some places that you may not have gone as a patron yet, you can go, you can interview, and you can figure out if you like it. And then when you sell a house, you can be like, oh, I know this great coffee shop, you should go. All right, so daily, you should be doing social media stories. This can be on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, or all of the above. You really should be on all of the above, I suppose. So the way I heard it is that on your social media page is the curated, professional, all of that stuff that you would sort of talk about with your prospects, so people can get to know you, get to know your expertise, and know that you are an expert in real estate in your area and all of this stuff. But doing social media stories is sort of like talking to your sphere. So this is more casual. This is people who already sort of know you, or who are getting to know you via these stories. So today, before this, I just did a story talking about how I'm about to go live and the dog's asleep, and hopefully he'll stay asleep. So similar to what I said in the beginning of this webinar, but I did it on social media stories. That reminds people that I'm doing a webinar. It reminds people that I have a dog, so they can relate to that as well. And then it gives a little bit of my personality, because it was personal, right? Another thing that you could be doing is behind the scenes. That's sort of like what I did, getting ready for this, showing people what I do before a webinar, essentially. You could also be doing a day in the life. This might not be a great thing to do daily because that's a lot of time and effort. And day in the life videos are more, I guess they're more for real estate agents. So if I'm a real estate agent, I'm looking up day in the life of a real estate agent. People who are buying or selling a house, not necessarily looking up day in the life videos, unless of course they get to know me personally through my social media stories, through my other videos and things like that. And then they want to see what I do on a daily basis before they work with me, or as they're working with me, and things like that. Daily, you also want to be doing your outreach. So in kvCORE, if you do use that, I teach that to agents, just a reminder. So if you are in kvCORE, on your dashboard, you can see what went on, while you were sleeping. So people looking at properties, people texting or emailing you, that sort of thing. So you want to log in to your CRM daily and then see where your outreach should go today, because this is your job. And even though you make your own hours, you do need to be reaching out to people every day in order to keep the job going, right? So biggest ones to outreach to reach out to are your leads, active and new, and then your sphere, just to say hi and ask for any referrals if they got them. And then daily, if cold calling is part of your routine or you want it to be, then definitely schedule that into your day. Could be the first thing you do. Obviously, people are at work 9 to 5-ish. So if you wanted to maybe schedule that for like 6 to 7, if you want to actually talk to people, you can schedule it for 9 to 10 if you just want to leave voicemails. You know, do it, you do you. A fun fact, 85% of buyers and sellers want to work with an agent that uses video. So obviously, you might know an agent, but it might be like your second cousin. They're brand new. You don't want to work with them. So you're online, you're seeing people posting videos all the time. They're community experts. They know their shit. Pardon my French, but I'm sort of getting to know, like, and trust them through their video. So I'm not just going to randomly call. I'm not going to Google like best realtor in New Jersey. I'm going to seek somebody out via their social media and their website and things like that. Because I don't want to work with just anybody. I want to work with the best, or somebody who I think I would connect with personally. So that's how video helps. So if there's one thing you take away from this video, it is or one thing you take away from this webinar, it is to do video marketing in 2023. So 3 big reasons why. Number 1, social media. Social media loves video and will show more people your content if you do video. So if you do YouTube videos, for instance, Google knows that that takes more effort than just a random Instagram static picture. I mean, sometimes. So they will likely be higher in the Google search results. Wow, my brain. Than somebody else, or like their random blog post. Your video will be higher up in the search results because Google recognizes your effort, which is nice. And then, of course, Instagram is turning into video only social media, which is so annoying. But you really got to be on video, making reels, making stories, so people get to know, like, and trust you that way. Gen Z is the next generation to be buying houses, and they live on social media, so they need to see your face before they work with you. And then, of course, video is personal. Using video is engaging, and it's the best way for prospects to get to know, like, and trust you before they hire you. So, best practices for your content calendar in 2023. Number 1 is to batch. So, batching your schedule means sitting down for a chunk of time and doing one thing. So with videos, you want to batch your script writing. You want to batch your filming day. So you only have to do your hair once and then get all the things together. And then you batch one day to edit, and then you can schedule all of these videos that you've done. Schedule one day to write, one day to film, one day to edit. And then that means in 3 days, you can have an entire month or 2 months, if you're super good, months worth of videos to be posting, where you look good, you feel good, and you know what you're talking about. You could also batch your blog posts. So schedule one day to outline, one day to write, one day to edit. That's a lot, though, if you're not in love with writing. One day to write a month's worth of blog posts could take a while. But again, if you chunk it into one day, then you're done for the month. And then editing, you can break up your content into smaller pieces. So if you do a full webinar, you can break it up and then post that content on different platforms on different days. So batch your videos, your blogs, and your editing. Another best practice is to share. So you can partner up with another agent to do your community events or past client events. So you take your sphere, they take their sphere, you put it together, you got a bigger sphere, right? So your past client events will be better. Why can't I think of words today? They will be better attended. There we go. And then, of course, you can be catching up with their clients. They could be catching up with your clients, and then you're in the whole community together. And then people know, like, and trust you even more. You can share an interview. So again, interviewing a small business, you don't have to be on camera. You could just be recording them. Of course, I suggest doing an intro and an outro with your face so people can get to know, like, and trust you. But if you're new to video and you don't want to be on it at all, you can interview small businesses. You could interview other agents. You could interview mortgage advisors, title reps, insurance advisors, anything like that. Just getting more information about the industry. So mortgage rates and mortgage things are always changing, like, constantly. The mortgage guy in the office I used to work with was just like a wealth of knowledge, just constantly giving us all of the things that he knew. And most of it I didn't know. Why would I have to know it? I didn't care. But if I sat down and interviewed him, then I'm giving knowledge to myself, which is great because you need that for buyer consultations and things like that. You're giving knowledge to the buyers who are watching your videos. And of course, you're helping people even get to know, like, and trust them. So you can say, oh, I have a mortgage guy. You may have seen him on my videos. You should really work with him. And then it's a beautiful partnership for everybody. And this obviously helps with cross promotion. If this other agent, this small business, this advisor is promoting the thing that you made, it doubles your audience and cuts your budget in half. So you're reaching more people because you're reaching your people and their people. And then you don't necessarily have to boost this post or pay for an ad to get people to see it because people are coming in from every angle. If you do use kvCORE, there's a lot of things that you can automate in the beginning of 2023 or now for 2023. One major thing that I like to tell people is to create a personalized newsletter template. So if someone's on my list, I'm sending them newsletters once a month or twice a month or once a week, depending on how often you want to get in there and send people things. So if you do a newsletter template and you have your logo on top, your picture on the bottom, and then like the 3 bullet points that you always give. So little market update, little my favorite house right now, a little coming up in the community this week. You make that template in kvCORE, you save it, and then you use it every month, every week, every whatever. It's just a great thing to set up now and have to use over and over again. You could also be scheduling your mass emails in kvCORE for the entire year. If you sit down now and schedule every single holiday, that's done, right? You don't have to think about it, especially at the end of the year. This time of year is kind of crazy. You're planning the next year. So you don't want to think about sending your Christmas, your Hanukkah, your New Year's, your anything else that you're sending this time of year, Thanksgiving, Halloween. It's like a huge chunk of holiday. So you could set that all up in January and then forget about it. And then, of course, there's so many things to automate and schedule. Your listing alerts, your market reports, your campaigns, all that stuff. So that's why if somebody is in your system and they are automated with their listing alerts and market reports, then sometimes you do just want to do a newsletter once a month. Because you don't want to overload them because then they will unsubscribe and they won't like you. But you do want to keep in contact with them, and that's perfect for this. This is also great, keep in contact and get a little personal. And then this one is the most personal, which is great because then they reach out to you as their real estate agent of choice. All right. So consistency is key. I'm sure you've heard that 1 million times, but consistency is great. It will create habits. So obviously, if you are scheduling, like I plan to do a webinar every Tuesday, that's this list right here. So that will be my consistency. People will expect me to be doing webinars on Tuesday, so I will be doing them. So if you do something like a market report Monday or a quick tip Tuesday, whatever you're doing, that is weekly. People will come to expect that. And then they will get excited when they see you post because they're excited to see what's on the market on Mondays from you. So that is a great thing to do to keep consistent, because it will create habits, because when people expect something from you, you want to deliver it. Oops. So a habit will keep people in your inbox and you in theirs. Okay. Consistency will also create trust with your prospects / followers. Again, people get to expect you're on the market Mondays, and then when you don't post, people will be in your inbox like, oh, are you okay? Where's everything? What, blah, blah, blah. So again, consistency creates consistency. Oh my gosh. Consistency will also create more content, because the more you post, the more people will interact, comment, like, all that stuff. And then they'll be maybe asking questions and things like that about the industry in your comment section. So you can do a monthly frequently asked questions video based on all of the comments that you get on your social media. So that's great, because consistency creates more content, and then you create more content, people know you better. And then finally, if it is not scheduled, it doesn't exist. So I keep showing you this. This is what I did yesterday. Webinars every Tuesday. So then I wrote down what every Tuesday is. So January 3rd, January 10th, 17th, 24th, 31. And then I'm sort of going in an order that makes sense to people. If they're brand new to me, to KV Core, something like that. That's like January, new things. And then we get more in depth, we get more advanced here. And then this is 6 months worth of webinars that sort of help people in different ways. And then I could be looking like, there are no real holidays until I come back after the 6 months. So the first one after June is July 4th. So I told myself that I'm off that day. I don't have to do a webinar on July 4th because I'll be looking at fireworks instead, right? So if you write down when you plan to post things, you can actually see if you're going to post things. Or of course, like if you're doing something every Tuesday, March 14th is a Tuesday. That is close enough to St. Patrick's Day, then maybe you want to have a St. Patrick's Day post that day instead of what you might have had on your big list of things I should post. So if you write out, if you look at a calendar, you don't have to be crazy like me and like do it manually and then do it digitally, but I just love a pen to paper. That's who I am. So I do like writing down all of the dates, all of my topics, and then seeing if they flow together, and then maybe doing a little switcheroo or something like that. But again, bringing this back to like what you're doing monthly, if you're doing a monthly webinar about contingencies and waivers. Then your weekly content can also deal with that a little bit. So you can say, hey, maybe you don't know about this contingency that you may come across, blah, blah, blah. If you want to learn more, I'm doing a webinar on Tuesday, the 17th, whatever. So have your daily content feed into your monthly content, feed into your quarterly content, that sort of thing. That's why I like to write things down like this. So I know what I'm going to post monthly, weekly, daily, and I know that it has a flow, and I know that it all works together. Yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. So I'm writing everything down in my list. I'm making sure it works, and then I'm going to schedule it in my actual digital calendar, because that I take, obviously I work from my computer, I take that with me, I take this with me, and it's all together, and I don't have to remember to take my big piece of paper. But I'm also a freak and love a paper calendar. I bought this one at Five Below. It was only $5. But it's just a typical planner, which I plan to write things down in, because if you didn't know, I mentioned it a couple times, but I do teach agents KV Core. So if you are in need of anything more, even social media related, we could do social media consultations as well. But I do one-on-one consultations. We Zoom chat about specific issues that you're having, or general KV Core how-to. I could do walkthroughs if you're new to the system, or you haven't used it in a while and forgot where everything is. So I'm going to be putting my one-on-one consultations and my group classes in my trusty paper planner, because I just love seeing a to-do list. I also have a Go at Your Own Pace course that I just recorded recently. It's about an hour and a half of video walkthroughs of KV Core. So if you don't want to sit with me, I'm not offended, but you can go through KV Core videos at your own pace. And then maybe if you need more, then you do your one-on-one consultation with me. Or if you are a broker or a team leader, I do offer group classes as well. We can meet via Zoom again. Unless you're in or around New Jersey, then I'm happy to go to the office. And I could teach you different parts of KV Core. So we could do a group class about landing pages and squeeze pages. We could do one about cleaning up your CRM. We could do the basics of KV Core, things you should be doing daily, weekly, monthly, because I love to plan like that. Yeah, so if you are interested in any of my offerings, you can head to thecrmfairy.com and find out more. So thank you for sticking with me. Oh, it was about 40 minutes. That's not bad. And for more tips and tricks, you can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at the CRM Fairy. I'm also on Facebook at the CRM Fairy Katie, because complications. But I'm not often on Facebook because Facebook annoys me, to be honest. So catch me more on Instagram, and then TikTok. I do some did a 30-day challenge in November, so that was fun. I might do something like that again in January, but you'll just have to follow and see. And then again, if you have any questions or you want to set up anything else, you can always email me at katie@thecrmfairy.com. So again, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry my background is psychotic, but I do have a toddler, and I'm getting ready to wrap Christmas presents. So that's everything going on in my life. I hope that this was helpful, and that you were able to maybe set up a whole year's worth of content, at least an outline, before 2023 even starts. So that would be great, because then you could really see the flow of everything. You can see if your business plan makes sense, and then you could obviously measure anything that's going on that will help you grow your business even more. All right. Have a great 2023. Hopefully it is productive and exciting and full of new business. And then again, hopefully you're on my email newsletter. If you signed up for this, you should be, but I will be doing webinars every Tuesday in 2023, all about kvCORE, real estate marketing, social media, all that jazz. So hope to see you there. Thanks.